Hello there guys, Francis Gray, and today we're going to be putting together and making up a model kit diorama of Luftwaffe fighter ace and crew member from Andrea Miniatures. Okay guys, so this is a 1:16 scale resin kit with some white metal parts made by Andrea Miniatures. Very highly detailed. Now I've already gone ahead and did a video review of the kit where we basically look at all the parts in more articulated detail. So if you're interested in seeing that, there'll be a link to that in the description bar below, or there'll be a link at the end of this video. But yeah, it's really highly detailed. I'm really excited about painting this up and getting all the best details that I can from all the various nooks and crannies and highlights and washes and loads to look forward to. So I'm getting ahead of myself there. So basically this model kit is based on an old Luftwaffe photograph in a Nazi propaganda newsletter from the 1940s called Der Adler, or Signal, and inside one of the copies, or one of the episodes, was a famous photograph of a German Luftwaffe ace fighter pilot called Helmut Wick, who was killed in action of November of 1940. So obviously in the photograph we see Helmut Wick getting ready to go up into battle, and then we have also got a crew member helping him get ready. So basically this model kit was based on that famous photo, and the scene depicts the same, the crew member helping the Luftwaffe fighter ace getting ready. So yeah, so without further ado, we'll crack on with the build. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grey prime these pieces. Okay guys, so for the next part I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach the white metal base to this this plastic base. Now I've had this lying around for a while, and it used to be to an old trophy that broke years ago, but as you can see that is more or less perfect for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix some epoxy resin, part A, part B, equal measures, and then lay it on here, and then put this in place, and then hopefully get some clamps on there or weigh it down, and yeah, we should be good to go. Okay guys, I'll go ahead and I'll leave this to dry. Okay guys, so for the next part I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to make like a nameplate for the front of the base that basically just says Helmut Wick, and then Luftwaffe pilot ace, and then the year he was born, which was the 5th of August 1915, and then when he died, which was the 28th of November 1940. So by the time I put all that on, I then realised that the date of birth and the date of the death was too, I suppose, it squashed all the lettering right down. So when it comes to 3D printing, I was thinking that I might end up losing some of the details there. So I decided to shorten them down to just the actual dates, which is like the 5th of the 8th, then 1915, and then the 28th of the 11th, 1940. So now that this is made, let's get printing. Okay guys, so here's the logo all printed off. Now it's a little bit grubby in this top corner because I had to take a little bit of sand and paper to smooth that a little bit down. But overall that's turned out really nice. I don't know if it's showing up on the camera or not. But yeah, it's done a really good job on that. So I think I made the right choice shortening the dates down rather than having it all compressed into one thing. So that was a good decision. So as you can see there, it's been made to measure. So once that has been glued in place, that'll look fantastic. So for the next part, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this a quick base coat of a copper colour. Okay guys, so for the next part now, I've mixed some milliput and I'm going to go in and I'm going to sculpt around the sides. Okay guys, I'll go ahead and I'll leave that to dry. Okay guys, so it was at this point that I started to glue all the main parts to some wooden pegs, basically just to make it a lot easier to paint up and get to all the little nooks and crannies. Just makes life a lot more easier later down the road. Okay guys, so now that the base has had time to, well, the milliput to dry, for the next stage I'm going to go in with some black spray paint. guys, so for the next part I'm going to go in with another black wash, and I'm going to get into all the nooks and crannies and then gently rub off the excess. Okay guys, I'll go ahead and I'll leave that to dry. Okay guys, so for the next part I'm going to go in with some watercolour and I'm going to add a little bit of darker shading. Okay guys, so for the next part I'm going to go in with some copper acrylic and I'm going to give a dry brush over the top to add some highlights. Okay guys, I'll go ahead and I'll leave that to dry and then we'll give it a quick blast of gloss varnish. Okay guys, so now that the nameplate's all been painted and finished, for the next part I'm going to go in with some of this, which is contact adhesive, and I'm going to put a thin layer on the back and then we're going to sandwich it in place and then we'll probably clamp it. Okay guys, I'll go ahead and I'll clamp this and we'll leave it to dry. Okay guys, so for the next part I'm going to go in with some Flintstone grey and I'm going to add some highlights to the uniform. Okay guys, so for the next part I'm going to go in with some dark acrylic green and I'm going to dry brush some highlights on top. Okay guys, so we've reached that point now where we can start to super glue some of these main key parts together. I'm not going to do them all because there's a few extra little top-up bits I need to do, but for the most part I think we can crack on mainly with this air crew member. Okay guys, I'll go ahead and I'll leave that to dry. Looks like I've got a bit of a seam line here that I'll need to take care of first before I go ahead and add the arms. But for the most part, I'm happy with that so far. So yeah, so I'll leave this to dry and then we'll fill out this seam. Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try and fill in this seam line. I don't know if it's showing up on the camera or not. With just some regular white wood filler. Okay guys, I'll go ahead and I'll leave that to dry and then we'll top it over with some matching paint. Okay guys, so we need to do the same and fill in these seams on the back here. Okay guys, so I've had to go a little bit thicker on this side because this arm shoulder seems to protrude out a little bit further, unfortunately, but once dry and that colour matched you won't be able to tell the difference. So yeah, so let's put this guy to one side and let's start making work on the palette. Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave this a couple of hours to fully dry and then I'm going to go in and add a few more touch-up bits. But for the most part, I like the way he's looking. Okay guys, so for the next part I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some of this stuff, which is scenic static grass flock, and this is the 4mm variant. And here is my flock machine. And what we need to do is I'm going to water down some PVA glue 50-50 with water in this little tub, mix it thoroughly, apply it to this, and then we'll add our flock and then we might have to build it up in a couple of layers. Okay guys, that seems to have worked out rather well, so I'll go ahead, leave that to dry. I might add another layer on top, but for the most part I'm happy with that. So yeah, so I'll see you, let this dry and I'll see you in the next bit. Okay guys, let's go ahead and colour match these seams. Okay guys, so just like the other soldier, seam lines in the arms that need filling in. Okay guys, I'll go ahead and I'll leave that to dry and then we'll go over and colour match the paint. Okay guys, so for the next part I'm going to use some regular super glue, and I'm going to super glue this handle to the parachute there. Okay guys, I'll go ahead and I'll leave that to dry, and then we can go ahead and give it a bit of a highlight dry brush. Okay guys, so for the next bit I need to take this little bit of to the life jacket aspect, or one of the straps, and I need to super glue that in place and then add this other leg as well. Okay guys, so I might as well go ahead and just add super glue to this and then make it all one figure. Okay guys, I'll go ahead and I'll leave this to dry, and then we can think about adding the arms. Okay guys, so now that the legs are dry, I'm going to go in and I'm going to glue this part here to there. Okay guys, and for the next part I'm going to glue the hands in place. Okay guys, so there is a part that needs to be glued here once this is dried. That'll come down and hang down. So I'll go ahead and I'll leave this dry first because I don't want to accidentally like disturb it. So yeah, so we'll crack on with that in the next bit. Okay guys, so I've hit a bit of a snag at the moment actually. Obviously this is how the figures are supposed to be displayed, and you might have noticed that I've had to take this arm off. Now there's a couple of problems with lining this kit up. So I found that this arm, once it was glued in place, was too close together, so it wouldn't fit into these back slots here, which is supposed to go in like that. So it didn't sit flush. So I've had to take one of the arms off, which is a bit of a pain, but what can you do? So yeah, so they're supposed to fit into these little peg holes into the base, but I'm finding that the feet on this one don't want to sit flush, unfortunately. And if I go ahead and I glue him in place first, and then I go add him later, I might find that they are like worlds apart and they're supposed to connect. So the only thought that I have to sort this out is I'm going to have to try and glue the feet, and then put a bit of super glue on this and try and get that sat in flush, and then put them into place and let them naturally dry, and hopefully there's a good enough connection, and then I'm going to have to try and fill in some of the gap. So yeah, it's not going to be easy, but hopefully it'll work out first time. Okay guys, that's about as best as I'm going to get that. It's not bad, but it's not perfect neither. So what I'll have to do is leave this to naturally dry. Hopefully this guy can be kept in place really nice. Hopefully this peg clamp will help keep that and glue that in place. Now the only main problem, I don't know if it's showing up on the camera, is there's a little bit of a gap here under his feet. Now it's probably not showing up on the camera, but it is visible to the naked eye, and there is a little side on this side. So the only thing I can think of is once it's dried, to get a tiny little bit of milliput and try to push it on in there, and then leave it to harden, and then that'll help bridge that gap, and then maybe just add a little bit of grass scatter over the top of it. So yeah. So anyway, while this is drying, I might as well go ahead and do a dry brush to the bag and then add the bag as well. Okay guys, I'm feeling a bit brave. I'm going to go in and I'm going to try and glue this arm as well. Okay guys, there is a bit of a seam line gap there. I'll see if I can zoom in on that. So as you can see there's quite a gap, but since I have to mix some milliput anyway, I might as well try and get that bit of milliput in there to bridge that gap. That's the only way I'm going to get all these parts to line up. So yeah, so I'll leave that to dry and then we'll go ahead and mix some milliput. Okay guys, I've gone ahead and I've mixed a little bit of milliput, so let's try and fill some of these seams. Okay guys, I think that's worked out a lot better. So I'll go ahead and I'll leave all this to dry, and then tomorrow we can colour match it and add a little bit more flock, and then yeah, we won't be able to tell the difference. So yeah, so I'm rather happy with that. Okay guys, so it's been a good 18 hours since this milliput's been added, so it's nice and dry now. So for the next part I'm going to go in with some more dark acrylic brown, and I'm going to colour match it so it matches the base, and then we'll colour match this this part here with Revell matte number 74, which is the same base colour as the rest of them. And then we can think about adding some more grass scatter to hide these seams. Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of PVA glue to the brown mud parts, and then we'll sprinkle on some more scenic grass scatter. Okay guys, same again, I'll leave that to dry and then gently brush off the excess, and yeah, and then we can crack on with the next parts. Okay guys, so one of the final things I need to do is I'm going to take some of my leaf scatter, and I've cut it up into smaller little tiny little bits, and I'm going to use what's left of that watered down PVA glue, and I'm going to gently take me tweezers and then dunk it in and then place it on to make it look like it's later on in the year, like autumn time. Okay guys, I think that works pretty well, so I'll go ahead and leave this to dry, and then I'll add a few little touch-up bits, and then I think we can call this one done. Okay guys, so there he is, all finished. I'll give you a quick 360. So as you can see there, it's a very nice crisp looking kit. Lots of detail in there to bring out. So all in all, I'm really impressed with Andrea Miniatures. Well, this kit from them. So yeah, so if you're thinking about building this kit, the only suggestions that I've got is please make sure or take note that all the straps are like a mushroom grey off-white colour, because in the beginning of the video or the beginning of the build I made the mistake of painting two of them yellow because I thought they were accessories to go with the life preserver. But I was wrong about that, so I had to rechange that. So no big deal, but if I just thought I'd give you a heads up if you're thinking about building this kit. And the only other thing to look out for is when you're gluing this together, if I could have my time back over again, I'd probably glue these legs with this centre strap part and then put the feet in the designated holes and let it dry naturally, because when I did it as the peg system connection allowed me to, it was actually it wouldn't line up with the designated holes. So yeah, so I'd probably work around that if given the chance again. So yeah, so if you've enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and share on Facebook and Twitter, because it helps new people find the YouTube channel, which I'm always appreciative. Thank you for your help. If you have any comments, comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on future builds. So once again, I'm Francis Gray, and this is the resin kit 1:16 scale of Helmut Wick and his assistant from Andrea Miniatures. I'll see you in the next build.